Beamy Gavin, 32, quiet process guy who treats conflict like a cost center. Married to Elena, 30, 5 years in, mostly stable, mostly boring, mostly good. Work runs on tickets, checklists, and people panicking when systems stall. Home used to be a soft place. Dinner talk, dumb jokes, small plans. Noise drains me fast, so evenings are simple and predictable by design. Drew is my one close friend because he drags me outside sometimes. Elena is social, warm, the kind who remembers birthdays without reminders. Most disagreements end with a sigh and a hug, nothing dramatic. That normal baseline is important because the trap uses it as contrast. Sunday brunch with Elena's friend group starts like any other weekend ritual. Small talk, photos of pets, complaints about work, jokes about adult life. One friend mentions a women's boundaries program that changed everything. Her tone is reverent, like she discovered religion that accepts subscriptions. Elena perks up because she loves anything labeled growth and communication. Friend slides a link across the table like it's a lifeline. Feminist relationship repair boot camp, bold letters, pastel graphics, smiling face. Name under the face reads Celeste Rook, feminist coach and educator. Elena laughs and says the branding is a bit intense, but intriguing. Drew texts me a meme mid-brunch, so I look down and miss it. Elena clicks anyway and watches a clip with subtitles and soft music. Celeste says men exchange kindness for access and call it love. Celeste says women must stop rewarding compliance and start measuring safety. Elena nods like the words are describing a secret reality. My fork pauses because that clip sounds like a courtroom opening statement. Elena says it's probably just edgy marketing, but the points are real. Friend says it's not edgy, it's accurate, and women deserve frameworks. Framework is a word that makes my skin prickle for obvious reasons. Elena asks what I think, so I say, careful is fine, extremes suck. Friend smirks and says men always fear losing the default benefits. Brunch moves on, but the link stays open on Elena's phone screen. Later at home, Elena says she bought the intro module to learn better tools. Price was not cheap, but she calls it an investment in us. My answer is supportive, because supportive is safer than suspicious this early. Monday arrives, and life looks normal from the outside again. Evening dinner happens, and Elena asks for a daily check-in. Daily check-in sounds harmless, like a cute couple habit. Elena asks, "How did you support me today, emotionally and practically?" My brain searches for a correct format because it feels like a form. Answer with simple things, cleaned dishes, listened about her coworker drama. Elena nods, then asks what I did to create safety in the relationship. Safety in a relationship is new phrasing for us. Answer honestly that I came home, made dinner, tried to be present. Elena says presence is baseline, not support, and writes something on her phone. Noticing that typing makes me feel like an employee being evaluated. Elena says Celeste recommends tracking patterns, so you don't forget harm. My chest tightens because harm used to mean something serious and rare. Tuesday, Elena asks me to stop saying why in disagreements. She says why is interrogation and forces women to justify their reality. My reply comes careful because this is suddenly a minefield. Elena asks me to say, "I hear you, your feelings are valid." That sentence feels robotic, but I say it anyway to keep peace. Elena frowns and says it sounds performative, which means it fails. Performative is a funny complaint when the whole thing feels like theater. Wednesday, Elena forwards me a PDF called Partner Accountability Guide. First page is a list of trigger phrases men use to avoid responsibility. Second page is a table. Violation, impact, required repair, consequence. Third page is titled, Withholding warmth is not punishment, it is protection. Elena says we need structure because love without structure is exploitation. That exact line sounds copied because it is too polished for her. My stomach does a slow drop that feels familiar from work incidents. Elena says the course is feminist, and that matters because it centers women. My answer stays neutral because arguing with labels is an instant loss. Thursday night, Elena says intimacy needs to be earned through safety behavior. Her voice is calm, almost gentle, like she's reading a script. Words land in my ears wrong because intimacy was never a reward system. Elena says she is done giving access without demonstrated repair. My mouth opens, then closes, because any reaction becomes evidence now. Elena tells me not to be defensive, and defense is a male tactic. First, escalation hits, and it is absurd precisely because she believes it. Friday morning, Elena announces a household agreement for both of our protection. Agreement means a printed document placed on the kitchen table. Title reads, Domestic Safety Alignment Charter, which makes me blink twice. Bullets include no raised voice, no sarcasm, no urgent tone, no why questions. Another bullet says no solo financial decisions because money equals power dynamics. Elena asks me to sign it because signature shows commitment to change. Refusing feels dangerous, signing feels humiliating, so I ask for time. Elena says time is avoidance, and avoidance is a form of control. That line again, polished, slightly smug, built to trap. Weekend arrives, and Elena spends hours on her phone in a private group. Occasional laughter comes from the couch, then she looks up coldly. Drew invites me out for a walk, so I take the excuse fast. Walking outside feels like oxygen because the house now feels monitored. Tell Drew about the course and the new language and the charter. Drew laughs at first, then stops laughing when I mention signatures. He says sounds like a cult with better fonts. Sunday night, Elena says she joined Celeste's sister circle, Paid Tier. Paid Tier includes templates, hot seat coaching, and legal safety resources. Legal safety resources makes my brain flag a threat category instantly. Monday dinner, Elena starts a new practice called impact review. She describes something I did, then tells me how it impacted her. Her impacts are always heavy, even when the event was small. My responses are judged for tone, pacing, and whether I center myself. Elena writes notes again, and the note-taking feels like surveillance. Tuesday, Elena introduces an incident journal because patterns reveal truth. Incident journal is a spreadsheet with columns and drop-down menus. Columns read date, time, context, behavior, impact, risk level, repair required. Seeing drop-down menus in a marriage makes me want to laugh and vomit. Elena logs a line because I sighed during a conversation. She marks risk level as moderate because sighs imply contempt. My body goes cold because moderate risk is a loaded accusation. Wednesday, Elena wakes early and moves her pillow to the guest room. She says sleeping separately helps her nervous system feel safe. My chest feels hollow because the distance is framed as my fault. Thursday. Elena tells me she moved our shared savings into her control. She says financial safety requires one accountable steward, not chaotic masculine spending. That phrase, masculine spending, is hilarious because I buy nothing. Asking for my card back becomes demanding access, so I stop asking. Friday, Elena says she is scheduling a joint session with Celeste Rook. Joint session is called Partner Re-Education Conversation on the calendar invite. Re-education is not a word that belongs in a marriage. Saturday arrives and we sit at the table with a laptop open. Celeste appears on screen smiling, perfect lighting, perfect posture, perfect calm. Celeste introduces herself as a feminist relationship architect, not just a coach. Architect is another word that makes my skin prickle with recognition. Celeste asks Elena to share her truth, uninterrupted for safety. Elena reads from her incident journal like she is presenting a case. Celeste nods with measured empathy, then looks at me like a suspect. Celeste asks whether I acknowledge my patterns of emotional coercion. My answer is careful, saying I want to understand specifics and improve. Celeste interrupts and says, "Understand is often a shield against accountability." Celeste asks me to repeat the phrase, "I caused harm and I accept it." My mouth dries because that phrasing is a confession, not a discussion. Elena watches me closely, like the response determines my fate. Celeste says refusal to confess indicates unsafe entitlement. Another trap question follows. Do you accept women are not rehabilitation centers? Answer with agreement in principle, because arguing the premise is useless. Celeste pivots to consequences, saying safety requires behavior contracts. Celeste shares her screen with a document titled Repair Plan Agreement. Repair Plan includes weekly payments for coaching support and repair labor. Another line includes a restorative donation to a women's safety fund. Elena nods, eyes bright, like she sees a path to peace. Celeste says men take seriously what costs them money. That sentence is the first time the business model shows teeth. Celeste asks whether I want to invest in Elena's safety. Invest is a word that pretends extortion is romance. My answer stays vague, saying money should not be tied to intimacy. Celeste smiles and says intimacy is not the topic. Accountability is. Session ends with homework. No defense statements, only validation statements. Elena prints the repair plan and leaves it on my side of bed. Bed is now symbolic because she does not sleep there anymore. Monday morning, Elena says I need to move out temporarily. Her voice is calm, like she is discussing groceries. Elena says 2 weeks apart will reset her nervous system. Rent and bills are shared, so moving out is a financial punishment. Pointing that out becomes using money to trap her. So I stop. Elena says if I refuse, she will need official safety steps. Official safety steps is the first time I hear the word official from her. My stomach drops because official means paperwork, and paperwork is forever. Tuesday. Elena records a conversation on her phone. For clarity. She places the phone face up and tells me not to be scared. Not being scared is impossible when a recorder sits like a weapon. My voice stays flat, my hands stay visible, my sentences stay short. Elena asks questions designed to trigger me into a defensive explanation. Those questions sound like Celeste's style, not Elena's natural voice. Elena says, "Do you admit your tone is dangerous and controlling?" Answer carefully that tone is subjective, and I'm trying to stay calm. Elena marks something in her journal and says my refusal is noted. Wednesday, a message arrives from someone named Quinn, safety relocation specialist. Message says, Celeste referred you. We can help with a safe separation. Safe separation is a weird service to appear without context. Elena says it's just information, because women need options. Scrolling the message reveals a referral code in the link text. Referral code looks like CEL Rook Elena, and my brain goes cold. That code is not love, not therapy, not healing, just a funnel. Thursday. Elena starts acting like I am already on probation. She tells me to communicate only through approved formats. Approved formats include written summaries and no spontaneous emotional demands. Friday, Elena asks me to sign a statement acknowledging unsafe behavior patterns. Statement says I will pay for repair, follow rules, and avoid contacting her friends. Signature line is at the bottom, like a contract for surrender. My head finally clicks into work mode, because this is procedural warfare. Saturday, I create a folder on my personal drive called Timeline. Inside are screenshots of PDFs, calendar invites, and the referral code. Another file is a note with timestamps like an incident report. My hands shake while typing, but typing turns fear into structure. Sunday, I stop arguing entirely because arguments become journal entries. Elena notices and says, my silence is another form of emotional violence. Silence is violence is such an insane sentence in a kitchen. Monday, Elena brings home a printed packet with highlighted sections. Packet is titled Unsafe Partner Patterns and Protective Measures. Some pages have placeholders like Insert Partner Name, still visible. Placeholder makes my brain laugh because the scam is sloppy. Elena does not notice because belief makes people blind. Tuesday, a plumber arrives to fix the sink and hears a conversation. Elena tries to bait me with, admit you scare me when you breathe like that. My reply is calm, saying no one is being threatened, and this is private. Plumber looks uncomfortable and keeps his eyes on the pipe. After he finishes, I ask him quietly for a short note. One sentence, date, time. Voices were calm, no yelling observed. He hesitates, then agrees because he hates drama and likes truth. That note goes into Timeline and feels like a small shield. Wednesday, Elena sends me a link to Celeste's advanced tier. Advanced tier promises legal strategy, evidence building, and exit planning. Exit planning reads like divorce logistics, not relationship repair. Elena says it is for her safety, not because she wants divorce. Thursday, Celeste sends an email with a subject, Repair Contract Draft. Email includes a monthly payment schedule and a restorative fund donation. Payment link routes to Celeste's own payment portal, not a charity page. That detail matters because my brain runs on audit instincts. Friday, Celeste requests a recorded apology from me to Elena. She says recording helps rebuild trust and documents accountability. Documenting accountability is a weird phrase for collecting leverage. Saturday, Drew visits, sees the guest room arrangement, and goes quiet. He says the house feels like a HR office with candles. Show him the referral code and the placeholder in the packet. Drew's face hardens, and he says this is a racket. Sunday night, Elena reads me a message from Celeste out loud. Message says, be firmer. Softness enables masculine manipulation. Hearing that makes Elena's eyes flicker, but she swallows it. Monday. Elena says she needs a cooling-off separation starting immediately. She offers me a list of approved short-term rentals from Quinn. List includes links, prices, and, again, a referral code. Pointing at the referral code feels like showing a vampire a mirror. Elena says referral codes help track safety cases and improve services. That explanation is nonsense, but she believes it because she wants order. Tuesday. Elena blocks my access to a shared account used for bills. She says money access is a privilege, and privileges follow safety. My throat tightens because bills still need paying without access. Wednesday, Elena tells me to route communication through Celeste for now. Third parties in a marriage is how divorces begin quietly. Thursday, I receive a new document, Mutual Safety Communications Protocol. Protocol says any disagreement must be acknowledged as harm before discussion. Protocol says I must not contact Elena's friends, family, or support circle. Protocol says violations may require official protective actions. Friday, I ask Celeste for clarification on what official means. Celeste replies that women have tools and men should respect that. My hands go cold because threats are now implied, not stated. Saturday, I message a lawyer recommended by Drew. No names, just a consult. Consultant listens and says never sign confession language in domestic disputes. He says keep everything, stay calm, and force key points into writing. He asks whether money is tied to threats, and I say yes. His pause is long. Then he says that changes everything. Sunday. Elena says Celeste can close the situation if I comply. Close the situation sounds like a hostage negotiator, not a coach. Monday, I decide to bait the trap carefully, like testing malware. Message Celeste, politely asking for the exact conditions to de-escalate. Ask for it in writing because I want to understand and avoid mistakes. Celeste replies fast, like she has a copy-paste ready. Her list includes apology video, payment receipt, donation receipt, and assigned admission. Another bullet says, upon compliance, we advise Elena to pause official steps. That line is the receipt because it ties payment to threat removal. Tuesday, I ask one more question, still polite, still boring. Ask whether compliance includes deletion of recordings and cessation of evidence building. Celeste answers yes, recordings may be deleted after repair is complete. Her phrasing is careful, but the intention is clear enough. Those messages get saved, time-stamped, and backed up instantly. Wednesday, the consultant drafts a simple response for me to send. Response states no consent to recording, no admission of harm, and no payments under coercion. Response asks Celeste to stop contacting and to preserve all materials unchanged. Thursday. Elena receives that and reacts like she was attacked. She says refusing repair proves I never cared about her safety. Her eyes look tired, not hateful, which makes it worse. Friday, Celeste messages Elena in front of me, accidentally, loudspeaker on. Celeste says, "Good, now escalate to official tools, it increases compliance." Elena freezes because she hears the strategy voice, not the caring voice. That moment is small, but something cracks behind her eyes. Saturday. Elena tries to act normal again, as if nothing happened. She cooks breakfast and asks me to validate her feelings. My validation is gentle, but my mind is now in evidence mode. Sunday, Elena asks me to leave for a week, and she seems shaky. Shakiness looks like guilt, not empowerment, and it makes me sad. Monday, a new email arrives from Quinn with safety separation paperwork. Paperwork includes a checklist and another referral code at the footer. Seeing the same code pattern on multiple documents makes it undeniable. Tuesday, I find a forum thread online about Celeste's program by accident. Thread describes identical steps, same journal template, same script language, same payment portal. Reading those posts feels like meeting my own nightmare in public. Wednesday, I message one poster through a burner account for discretion. Poster replies with one sentence, "She did this to us too." He shares a redacted screenshot of the same repair contract format. Same placeholder errors, same bold headings, same restorative fund language. Thursday, I ask if he has proof of referral payments. He says yes. His ex forwarded an email with partner commission details. He offers to share if my consultant requests it formally. Friday, the consultant sends a clean request letter asking for materials. Poster sends a package, redacted, but enough to show the pattern. Saturday, I print the key exhibits and place them in a folder. Folder is plain, labeled timeline, because drama loves simple labels. Sunday. Elena asks why I am printing things like a detective. Answer calmly that paper beats feelings when someone threatens official steps. Monday, Elena attends another Celeste call and returns with harsher eyes. She says Celeste thinks my documentation is manipulation and intimidation. Hearing that flips a switch, because evidence is not intimidation. Tuesday, Elena invites me to a live joint session with Celeste as mediator. Session will be recorded because Celeste says transparency protects women. My reply is yes, but only if recording consent rules are respected. Celeste replies that consent is irrelevant when safety is at stake. That sentence is another receipt, and it goes into timeline. Wednesday, the joint session begins, and Celeste is glowing with calm authority. Elena reads from her incident journal, and Celeste nods like a judge. Celeste asks me to admit my tone pattern is dangerous. My reply is simple: no consent to recordings and no confession language. Celeste smiles and says refusal is a classic coercive strategy. Elena looks torn because she hears the script again. Celeste shares a screen with admission phrases that break male denial. Her cursor hovers and a window pops showing a file name. File name reads, "Phrases to get him to admit," in plain text. Celeste closes it fast, but Elena already saw it. Elena's face changes because the mask slipped for a second. Celeste keeps talking, but the rhythm is off now. Thursday night, Elena is quiet, sitting on the couch, staring at her phone. She says Celeste told her to ignore doubts because doubt is patriarchal conditioning. That line sounds so evil it almost feels fake. Elena whispers that Celeste said softness is weakness, and weakness is betrayal. Hearing betrayal makes Elena sound like she joined a faction. Friday, I ask Elena a gentle question, not why, just who benefits. Elena flinches at the question like it is forbidden. She says Celeste benefits because she helps women survive. My hand points to the referral code again, slow and steady. Elena says the referral code is for tracking, but her voice wobbles. Saturday, a message arrives from Celeste with a new urgency. Celeste says failure to comply by midnight requires escalation for Elena's safety. Midnight deadlines are a sales tactic, and my brain recognizes it instantly. Sunday, I ask Celeste to confirm one thing, nicely, like a confused client. Ask whether payment guarantees no official action and deletion of recordings. Celeste answers yes. Upon full compliance, we advise de-escalation. She also writes, payment demonstrates seriousness and reduces risk. That paragraph is the cleanest extortion receipt so far. Monday, the consultant assembles the packet with exhibits and timelines. Packet includes referral codes, payment portal screenshots, deadline threats, and template errors. Packet includes plumber note and the other victim's matching contract screenshot. Packet includes the phrases to get him to admit slip context. Tuesday, Elena gets a message from Celeste that is colder than usual. Celeste says Elena must push harder or she is choosing male comfort. Elena stares at that message and looks physically sick. She whispers that Celeste never sounded like this in the marketing clips. Marketing clips are always warm because warmth sells the first hook. Wednesday, the consultant sends packet to the payment service compliance team. Another copy goes to the platform hosting Celeste's course storefront. Another copy goes to Quinn's partner operation because partners hate evidence. No public call-out happens because public call-outs feed the grifter machine. Thursday, Celeste messages me at dawn with a fake sweet tone. She says, "Let's resolve privately. I don't want conflict." Privately is funny from someone who demanded recordings for transparency. Celeste offers a discount if I pay today, which is pure sales brain. Friday. The course storefront suddenly shows temporarily unavailable for Elena's tier. Elena refreshes it 3 times, then looks at me like a child. Celeste posts in her group about harassment campaigns against feminist educators. Her language shifts from care to panic, and Elena notices. Saturday, Quinn sends Elena a short message. We are pausing referrals for review. Pausing referrals means the oxygen line got pinched. Sunday, Celeste starts demanding the sister circle delete messages and screenshots. Delete instructions appear in the group, and Elena sees them. Seeing deletion orders makes Elena's belief finally crack fully. Monday, Elena asks Celeste why deletion is necessary if everything is ethical. Celeste replies harshly, calling Elena ungrateful and unserious. That harshness is the moment Elena realizes she was a tool, not a client. Tuesday, Elena cries in the kitchen, saying she thought she was getting help. My anger is real, but anger would only punish Elena more. Wednesday, Elena shows me her sister circle chat logs with trembling hands. Inside are templates, scripts, escalation ladders, and referral links everywhere. One message from Celeste says, "Official steps increase compliance, use them." Another message says, "Never accept his explanations, label them as defense." Another message says, "Hold intimacy as leverage, it works every time." Reading those lines feels like touching something contaminated. Thursday. Elena apologizes, not with perfect phrases, just messy honesty. Her apology is small, scared, and real, which makes it believable. Friday, the payment portal freezes Celeste's withdrawals pending investigation. That detail arrives as a generic notice to Elena because she paid earlier. Elena reads it twice, then sits down like her legs stopped working. Saturday, Celeste messages me, offering deletion for a processing fee. Processing fee is a bribe wearing a customer service uniform. My consultant replies, asking Celeste to confirm that offer in writing. Celeste confirms, because arrogance makes grifters sloppy when cornered. That email becomes the final receipt, clean and undeniable. Sunday, Celeste's course storefront reappears, but the checkout button is gone. Group members start asking about refunds, and Celeste starts blaming trolls. Monday, Quinn disappears, then a new message says services are discontinued. Partners cut loose fast when paperwork arrives because risk has gravity. Tuesday, Elena's sister circle chat implodes with accusations and panic. Some women call Celeste a savior, others call her a scam artist. Celeste posts a crying video, but comments are limited and reach is dead. Wednesday. Elena gets a private message from another woman thanking her for asking questions. That woman says 3 marriages collapsed under Celeste's templates already. Thursday, I return full access to shared accounts to Elena slowly. Money becomes normal again, because normal is the goal, not revenge. Friday, Elena deletes the incident journal, then asks if I saw it. My answer is yes, and my voice stays gentle, not triumphant. Saturday. Elena says the worst part is how good the language sounded. She says words made cruelty feel like virtue, and that scares her. Sunday, our home starts feeling like a home again, not a review board. Monday, Celeste's profile still exists somewhere, but it looks hollow and quiet. Her big promises remain, but the money pipe is cut off. Tuesday, Elena receives a refund notice, partial, with a generic explanation. Refund feels like justice in a boring adult format. Wednesday, Drew visits and says the house finally smells normal again. He laughs, then says he hates how close that came to legal ruin. Thursday. Elena admits she almost filed official papers because she trusted the script. Hearing that makes my stomach drop again, because almost still counts. Friday. Elena says Celeste told her doubts were patriarchy speaking. Patriarchy speaking is a phrase that now makes Elena angry, not proud. Saturday, we sit with tea and agree on one simple rule. Receipts get kept, boundaries get spoken, and no one buys scripts again. Sunday night ends with silence that feels safe for the first time. Last thought sits cold and clean, because cold and clean keeps you alive. Receipts do not argue with ideology, they just show what happened.